Ninjas, welcome to Yoga with DojoKat. Today's flow is going to be a challenging one. We're going to work on opening up our hips. We're going to do a couple headstands, and I encourage you to give it a try. I know it's going to be tough, but just do your best. That's all we can do, right? Just do your best. So let's just get into it. We're going to begin in a child's pose. Bring your knees nice and wide, big toes to touch, and bring your hips down to your heels. Extending your arms out in front of you and bringing your forehead down to the mat. Let's keep those forearms nice and active. And focus on our breath here. We're probably having really busy days and we're just taking this time for ourselves. So instead of letting your mind wander about your to-do list, we're just going to bring it to the mat and how our body feels. So take some nice deep breaths, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth, making sure you're getting some nice, long, even breaths. Beautiful. We are going to roll forward onto our bellies, and you can stay up on your elbows, but we're going to bring our right knee all the way up, almost like we're bringing it up to our elbow here for our half frog pose. So your toes are going to be facing out. Let's take a couple of breaths here, just really gently starting to open up those hips. And we're going to add in some mobility. So we'll come onto our hands, and then we're going to rock, bringing that knee up and pressing back, and then rock forward, touching the knee back to the mat. Rock backwards, lifting the knee, pressing back. You're going to feel that in your hamstring and your glute. And best of all, this is going to help lubricate the hip joint there. And we'll go one more time on this side. Beautiful. You can come back, bring that knee back down, bring the belly to the mat, stack your elbows under your shoulders, and bring that left knee up to that left elbow for our half frog pose. So just a reminder, I did say that this flow was going to be a challenging one, so if at any point there's anything you don't want to do, maybe it doesn't feel quite right, maybe you're just not there yet, just skip it. I'll offer alternatives for you to do instead, so it's not a big deal if you aren't quite there yet. A couple of breaths left in this half frog pose. Lift up onto your palms, and then we're going to do that rocking motion again. So lifting that left knee up, pressing back, planting that foot into the mat, and then bringing it back down. Beautiful work. We're going to do one more. Okay, from here we're going to go into a tabletop position so you can stack your knees under your hips and your hands under your shoulders, and we'll go into our cat-cow. Inhaling to lift the tailbone, dropping the belly, lifting the chin, press that mat away. Exhale, round the spine, tuck your chin to our chest. Inhale, keep going, inhaling to expand your body, and exhaling to contract. All right, you can come into a neutral spine here, and we're gonna keep lubricating that hip joint. So what we're gonna do is extend that right leg behind you, lift it up, and we're going to turn our hips so that it's in like you're a dog peeing on a fire hydrant. Sorry, I'm so chaotic. Some people really appreciate my teaching style, some people don't. I understand, I'm not for everyone, it's fine. So we're gonna turn that hip, pulling that knee up, and then dropping it down so that it's facing the mat, and then straightening that leg. Turn the hip, bring the knee up, rotate it back down to the mat, extend the leg. We'll do one more going this direction, and then switch directions. Knee up to the chest, open up like you're a dog, kick it behind you so that your knee is facing the mat again. One more. Beautiful, and we'll go to the other side. I'm actually going to turn because I can't do it on that side with the wall right there. So on the left side, extend that left leg behind you. Turn the hip, your knees facing out, roll so that's facing the mat, and then slowly straighten that leg again. We're drawing these nice circles, really lubricating the hip joint, making sure we're ready for the rest of the flow, and you're a kickboxer, ready to kick somebody in the face. Okay, last one, going this direction. As you hit the bottom, we'll just change direction. One more. Beautiful, bring that knee down to the mat. Okay, we're gonna stay in this tabletop position, extend that right leg behind you, left arm in front of you, take a deep breath in. Option to stay right here, of course, or exhale, touch the knee to the elbow, elbow to the knee. Just getting our core warmed up. One more. And come back to a neutral position. We'll take that to the other side. Extend that left leg, right arm in front of you. Inhale, exhale, contract. Inhale, expand. And we'll do one more. And release back to the mat. All right, from here, we're gonna press into our downward facing dog. So we'll get some movement going with this first dog. You can pedal out your feet, turning your hips over. If you have a little bit of tension in your neck, you can nod your head yes. Nice big slow movements. And shake your head no. Or you can find some stillness. From here, we're going to crawl our hands towards our feet and knee in a forward fold. Relax your neck. If you need to keep a little micro bend in your knees, please do that. It's always important to protect our joints. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back, gaze forward, and exhale back into that forward fold. We'll bend the knees and inhale, extending the arms to the sky for a mountain pose. And on our exhale, we're gonna sit into a chair pose. Just make sure that your shoulders are down away from your ears. We don't wanna be scrunched up like this. Just relax your shoulders. Put your weight in your heels. If you struggle with balance in this pose, just put a little bit more space in between your feet. If your shoulders are burning, feel free to keep your hands on your chest or challenge yourself. Burn those shoulders. All right, from here we're gonna interlock our fingers as best as we can and lean your torso forward so that it's parallel to the mat and really get a nice little back stretch here in our bear pose. I know your legs are burning, mine are burning, but we are gonna breathe through it. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, straighten your legs. And then bring your hands to your heart, giving your shoulders a little break. Okay, from here we're gonna take a nice big step forward with our right leg and pivot our left foot so that it's parallel to the back of our mat. And straighten that front leg, bring those arms parallel, shift forward and drop that right hand to your shin for our triangle pose. If you're feeling a little extra flexible today, you can take that hand outside of your right foot there, or you can bring it to the mat, whatever you feel like, wherever you are right now. I'm not feeling super flexible today. So I'm gonna stay on the shin. We did just get started, so that's gonna be my excuse. Bring those arms parallel and bend that front leg for warrior 2. And really try to find space in between your fingertips. So you should really be reaching from your left fingertips all the way to your right fingertips. Also take a little peek down at your knee. Make sure that you're not bending it over top of your toes and that it's actively pressing out. If your knee is facing like this direction, we just want to correct that. Just press it out, protect that joint at all costs. Then you can flip your palm and reverse your warrior, bringing that right arm to the sky. Keep that bend in that front leg. I just have my left hand on the back of my leg. You can have the option to take a bind, wrapping it around your lower back if you like. And you can release this pose. We're gonna turn our toes to the wide part of our mat. Inhale those hands to the sky. And exhale, swan dive down into a wide-legged forward fold. Beautiful work. If you'd like to go a little deeper in this pose, you can take your hands and crawl yourself backwards so that you are bringing your torso closer to your thighs. Bring your hands back to center and we're going to crawl our feet in so that they're a little wider than hip distance apart, toes facing at an outward angle, and we're gonna sit into our nice little garland squat. So just like the chair pose, weight is in your heels, and let's just make sure that we're not like rounded over. We want to make sure we have a nice long line with our spine. Even though it's kind of like a weird position, you're gonna really want to round over, but just try to lift your chin, lift your chest. Really opening up those hips today. And plant those hands to the mat, straighten your legs, meeting in a really quick forward fold. And then you're gonna lift all the way up, take that step so that you have a nice wide stance, meeting back in our warrior 2 on our right side. And then we'll cartwheel our hands down to the mat, step back into plank, shift forward to bring your hands over your fingertips, lower ourselves down 90 degrees, keep hovering off the mat. Inhale, upward facing dog. And let's exhale into a really quick child's pose, bringing your knees nice and wide. Let's take a couple deep breaths. Take note of how your right side is feeling compared to your left side right now. And we're gonna balance that out by putting that work on the other side. So plant your hands and press into our downward facing dog. We're just gonna get a little extra movement in our downward facing dog here. So we're gonna turn our right hip and then hover it above the mat and then lift back up and take it to the other side. Just making sure our core is warmed up. All right, find some stillness in your down dog. Then you can crawl your hands towards your feet and meet me in a forward fold. Adjust my pants, shorts. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees, lift the hands to the sky for a mountain pose. Really stretch, find length in your spine, and then on your exhale, sink into our chair pose. I challenge you to go even lower than you did last time. If you're shaking, I'm shaking, we're shaking together. All right, interlock your fingers, palms out, and then bring your chest parallel to the mat for our bear pose. Keep breathing. And we're holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straighten the legs, bring those hands back to the sky, release your palms, mountain pose. And you can bring your hands to heart center, give your shoulders a little break. And then we're going to step forward with our left foot and pivot that back foot so that it is parallel for our triangle pose. It's time to take a little peek there at my nose. So straighten that front leg, arms parallel. Shift forward and drop that left hand to the left shin and take your gaze up to that right hand. Beautiful. Bend that front leg, lift your arms up to bring them parallel, warrior 2. Flip that palm and then reverse that warrior. Keep that bend in that front leg. Extend that left arm to the sky. You can take a binder if you like. And you can release that. We're gonna go into our wide-legged forward fold. So I'm just turning to face you guys. And we're going to bring our toes forward, inhale those hands to the sky, and exhale, swan dive down into our wide-legged forward fold. All right, bring those feet a little wider than hip distance and sink into your garland squat. Beautiful work. Plant those hands, straighten your legs. Really briefly rise all the way up. Take that, oh no, it's gonna be the other leg. Take that left leg so that your toes are facing the mat, right foot parallel. Meet me back in our warrior two. And we'll cartwheel our hands to the mat and go through our flow for our plank, chaturanga, upward facing dog, and we'll meet in a child's pose. All right, from here, we're gonna go into our headstand. I'm gonna start with the beginner's modification if you've never done a headstand before, and then the second round, I'll go through the full headstand. So let's just get into trying it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring our elbows to the mat under our shoulders, and we're gonna take our hands and build ourselves a little cave. So from here, we're gonna put our head into the cave. And then if you've never done a headstand before, we're just going to lift up into this nice little A shape. You can crawl your toes towards you, and you can stay right here, okay? So the thing about headstands is the weight of your body isn't actually on your neck. It's gonna be mostly in your elbows. So that is what you want. So if you wanna stay right here, you are welcome to do so. Hold for a couple of breaths. And release those knees to floor. All right, I'm gonna do another stage, another modification that goes just a little further. So just catch your breath here for a second and we'll get into it. All right, come onto your elbows, build your little cave and put your head into it. And then you can bring yourself into that little A shape. We're gonna take our knees above us and stay in a little ball. So you can kick one leg off at a time and put your weight in your elbows and just stay with your knees tucked in. This is lots right here. Really engages your core, so you should be squeezing your abs. And don't forget to breathe. Holding for 3, 2, 1, release one toe at a time. And one really important thing, don't whip your head up right away, just keep your head nice and low. We don't want to be dizzy. And really slowly come up. Okay, now option again, stay with one of those variations. We're gonna go into the full headstand by extending our legs in this last one. All right. So we'll come onto our elbows, build our cave. Oh. And then lift up onto your toes, come into your little egg shape. And then if you're ready, extend your legs to the sky. Beautiful work. Really slowly tuck your knees and then bring your toes back to the mat. Whew. Nice work. Great balance, guys. I'm just assuming you all crushed it. Oh, sorry, I'm not flipping you off, I swear. Okay, and my finger is damaged. Okay, let's go into our cool down. We will come onto our backs. Actually, I'm gonna turn because I'd like not to be in this. Actually, it's kind of unavoidable. Sorry guys, you guys are gonna get my glowing legs. We're gonna roll down onto our back and bring our feet up close to our bums. Bring the soles of your feet together and just let your knees fall open. Also, one thing to note is just take a note of where your lower back is, okay? If there's a lot of space, you can slide your whole hand underneath your lower back. You need to tuck your tailbone underneath just to protect the lower back. We call that finding our imprint. It's really important. If your lower back is hurting all the time, like maybe it's little things like that. I actually had this problem where I kept like, my one calf kept getting super tight and spasming. And after doing some physiotherapy, we figured out, I used to like have this stance where I'd stick my butt out, and then that was like pinching a nerve in my leg and causing my calf to like be super tight and go numb sometimes. So just little adjustments like that can make a big difference. Alright, you can take our hands and just guide our knees closed. That can be pretty intense, so we want to take it nice and slow. And from here, we're going to bring our knees up to our chest and give ourselves a nice big hug. Then from here, we're going to reach in between our legs and grab onto the outside of our feet or your big toes, whatever is comfortable for you. Option to stay right here if this is fine for you. Option to bring the soles of your feet to the sky. And if you like, you can get a little rocking motion for our happy baby pose. Oh, rocked a little too far. And all together, one deep breath, inhaling and exhaling. You can release those feet, bring those legs nice and long, extend your arms overhead for one more big stretch. And then you can bring your hands down to your hips. We're just going to take 2 minutes here to focus on our breath and how our body is feeling after that practice. Let's inhale for the count of 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. And hold. 2, 3, 4. Gently wake yourself up by wiggling your fingers and your toes, blinking your eyes open. And you can find yourself into a comfortable seated position. I'm just gonna find my little dark corner. All right, that is it for today. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope your hips are feeling amazing right now and you crushed that headstand. So nice work. And good on you for coming to the mat. That is the hardest part and you did it. So if you'd like this video, please like and subscribe. I would love to have you in my little dojo. And I will see you guys next week. Os.